Da 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 da. Hey there, welcome back to Japan Game Junk, and it's still some 3DO goodness, and let's see, put that over here. Usually, I put the Japanese on top and the English on bottom. Oh well, doesn't matter. Today, it's a driving game, and one of the standout games for the 3DO. Later, it was ported to the PC and other systems, and then had many updates, many games to today. And in Japan, it had a different name. Overdrivin. Overdrivin is actually the Need for Speed in other areas. Indeed. This is the original Need for Speed game for the original system, the 3DO. Developed by Electronic Arts Advanced Technology Group for the 3DO originally. It was groundbreaking at the time, and I was so happy to have this when it first came out. Played it so much, and it is wonderful. Of course, it doesn't age as well as certain other games, but it's very good. And yeah, I remember back when I was in probably junior high school, maybe I was, and I had a little 3DO site, and I made a review for this game, and I even think about now, years and years later, I cringe so much when I said, this is a game for anyone who wants to actually drive a car. Because it was before I could drive, and that was my mindset, you know? Because the driving mechanics seemed so good, despite never having driven myself. Such memories. How many times did I see this logo playing this game? And I'm not sure why it's a different name in Japan. I know at the time there was a pop group called Speed, which was hugely popular. A J-pop girls group called Speed, so maybe that was an issue. People might think it's something to do with them or something, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not sure what this might be. Copywritten, let's just skip past the opening cinematic. Yes, 94. I was probably 12 years old when this came out, I'm guessing. I would have turned 13 that winter. So yeah. So select your car. And oh, it is in fact Japanese. All the description and invoice too as well. So L and R buttons, you can switch your car. And I always chose the Porsche 911, even though it's I guess the slowest, weakest car in the game, because I did have a family member who had one of these cars specifically. And you press the button, you can see the various road and track magazine information on the car. I didn't know what any of this stuff meant so much. And rival select. Indeed, I'd rather, oops, I think I pressed start instead of select, so now it's the weakest car against the strongest. Let's see how I do. But very simple. A, accelerate. B, brake. C, change camera level. Unless it was changed for some reason. There we go. My driving game experience was limited to things like Mario Kart, so I was thinking, you know, is there like a light to oh, there we go. Put into gear, I forgot. Yeah. So I was like, you know, there's no countdown. What do I do? How do I win the race? But if you never lived through the, you know, the console wars of Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis, and then, you know, there's the Sega CD, which was not very impressive performance-wise, and then you have this. I mean, again, as basic as it looks in the modern era, this was so incredible. Now, this is years before the PlayStation and Saturn, maybe 2 years or so. So the sound and the music is just really... Well, I mean, no music now, of course, but the sound... And if you had a surround sound system... How do I do my brake? I mean, my horn. I forgot. I thought it was... The button I pressed was the emergency brake, so... Oh well. I do not indeed know how to do the horn anymore. So, anyway, yeah, it's really... And the way that there's, like, a background that has some photorealism to it. And, yeah, just the way... I mean, again, it's just a D-pad, but the way it controls... And the way each car handles so very differently. In a way that you can assume would be realistic, having not driven most of the cars myself. It's really, really, really good. Okay, here comes the police. They try to chase you down, and if they catch you, then it's ticket for you. In the real world, of course, don't run from the police. It never ends well. Watch all of those channels, YouTube channels of police doing their work. So many identical red brick buildings, but at the time just to have them, you know, even something like how they are, you know, that's clearly a 3D model that's being manipulated to move in real space, as opposed to pixels being manipulated to, you know, grow larger and smaller and such. You know, the... Oh, no. Of course, the Super Nintendo had Mode 7, and Genesis had, and the Mega Drive had blast processing and stuff. This is just purely rendering graphics with its more advanced CPU. Not sure if the 3DO had a dedicated GPU in addition to the CPU. I don't think so. I think this is before that stuff was important, when people cared. When I was growing up, there was, you know... There we go. It was like, people were... They always got the better sound card, but no one really talked about the graphics card so much. You would just get a better processor. There we go. Alright, I got the best 3 score. Memories. Don't have to do 3 characters, but... And then that'll make it into the hard disk. So you can continue, replay, highlight... Let's see some highlights from my race. This is, well, very, very, you know, innovative stuff. You have good memory to be able to save the race like this. I believe if you didn't have enough memory on the, yeah, you can see all your wacky stuff you did. I believe if you didn't have enough memory on the machine, it would have you delete some files or whatever, but still. And now I can see why I was getting beeped at. Dude wanted to pass me, and he did. But who ended up winning? Me and my old Porsche 911. And you can also change the cameras or whatever, but hey, whatever. But yeah. I think that's, it's good enough to see how it works, but again, the abilities of the 3DO, the cars that go very fast, enter the next generation of being a speed monster, yeah, Overdrivin. Right, well, I think that's good enough. I'll let you go. Thanks for taking the time to join me. Hope you enjoyed this as I enjoyed this game so much as a youth. And even now, it's a bit fun to pop back into. I know that the Need for Speed series became very different and popular for other things, but yeah, this is good stuff. Again, thank you, and goodbye. Da 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 da.